check this out. Both sides slap full. Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So here it is, Monday, November 6th, right at 12:30 in the afternoon. Temperature is 75 degrees, the humidity is 43%. It feels absolutely fantastic out here. And the last time I was out here and in the hives was September 2nd, so about 66 days ago. And if you are just joining us and just checking out our channel, let me explain why. So I am Jeff Crane. I'm the owner and operator of Cole's Farm, which is a very small backyard beekeeping operation here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. We are situated in the southwest part of Onslow County. I actually started this a few years ago in 2017, and everything you see on our channel is from this bee yard right here. So being an active duty Marine, sometimes I have to work away from home for extended periods of time, which is exactly why it's been just over 2 months since the last time I was able to get into the hives. Every single hive has some pretty decent activity at the front entrance, which is exactly what you want to see. So, another thing to keep in mind, this is the first time that I have not fed them. So I harvested honey twice, one being late July, the other being maybe late June or so. I am anticipating and hopeful that some of the hives that have supers on have some goldenrod honey. A buddy of mine, local beekeeper, he just harvested some from his bee yard, which is about 3 miles from here. He harvested some goldenrod honey about a week ago. So returning after being away for 2 months actually turned out to be pretty good timing, because the hives could have a little bit of a goldenrod crop. So I'm going to get into the hives, conduct a routine inspection, mainly checking to make sure they're queen right, looking for anything else that is concerning this time of year, and potentially address that. Let me put my veil on so I can get a little closer. We'll do a quick drive-by, an up-close drive-by of the entrances, and then I'll get the smoker lit and we'll get into them. So give me a few minutes and we'll get going. So this is the hive in the very first position, and this is what I was trying to explain in the introduction. They have some activity, it's just not that much. Then again, they are a single 5-frame nuke. So we're just going to go down the line, hang out at each entrance for just a few seconds. So number 2, pretty nice activity. 3, not terrible. 4 is a little better, but as we go from east to west, the hives down from 5 and so on, as you can see, are catching more sunlight, which usually brings them to life a little more than the hives that sit in the shade. And as you can see, I got some weed whacking to do, which I've turned that into a late fall, early winter chore. While most of the bees are pretty dormant, I'll come out here and hit all the weeds with a brush hog. So there you go, as promised. And now let's get into the very first one and work our way down the line and just see how they're doing. I'm anticipating them all still having marked queens. At least that's how I remember leaving them. But again, we'll just go one by one and see how they're doing, and if they need some help to get through the winter, I'll see what I can do. All right, here we go. Let's give number 1 some smoke. Not as much propolis as I was hoping to hear, but then again, that is the outside cover. Quick look. Decent amount of bees. I'll share a first look with y'all. That's always somewhat interesting. Don't really have a lot of room on the end here, but there we go. There's the propolis sound. Look at all that propolis too in here. I mean, they've been They've been working pretty hard. Yeah, not to judge too quickly, but they might have maybe 2 frames of bees. So very outer frame. Not surprised. Not a lot going on. Second frame, as you can see, old brood frame. Same on that side. Starting to get into some bees, and let me show you real quick, not to make this first part of the video long or anything, but as you can see, you might have about 2 frames of bees in this one, so probably a good candidate to combine. And that's interesting, if you can see that or not, that shiny substance. They actually have a lot of nectar, and there's the queen right there, if you can see her or not. Red dot's slowly wearing off. Let me cage her. Where'd she go? Let me get her caged. Alright, got her caged. I'm just going to remark her. I also like caging the queens because that way I know where they are located. And let me go through the rest. Well, the rest. The other frame. That actually has a decent amount of bees on it, and I'm primarily checking for brood, which I don't really see any, but I also don't have my flashlight. So let's take a look down in some of these cells. Just looking for eggs. Not sure. She may have really dialed back on laying, so yeah, just like I was saying before really inspecting them, they might be a good candidate to combine. Alright, I'm just going to take a look at the last frame, remark the queen, and get them put back together, but I might end up combining this hive with the other single 5 frame that's down the line. Alright, we'll see if she cooperates, if she turns around or not. I just got done remarking her, and let's see if she'll show her thorax. Come on, turn around. Turn around. Oh, almost. There you go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but the red dot is a little easier to see. So let's get her released, and then I will make a decision later once I get down to the other 5 frame if I'm going to combine these 2 or not. Into the hive. You want to go into the hive. Alright, just smoked the entrance of hive number 2. I wanted to let the camera roll because I'm anticipating having a migratory cover. Probably should hear some propolis cracking. There we go. And yeah, they definitely have a decent amount of bees in here. Check this out. So we'll see. Just gonna pop the top, pull a few frames, see if they have any goldenrod honey to harvest or what their food stores are looking like, because that's something else to keep in mind, and just go from there. All right, I'm over here on the 4th frame, and if that comes up on camera, a lot of nectar, some dark capped honey. And again, I have not fed them at all. Yeah, you can see it on this side too. Maybe a little better. But yeah, a lot of nectar. So I'm just gonna keep moving through and see how the rest of the hive looks. All right, not much change throughout. Moderate food stores, nothing really to even consider harvesting. So just gonna take the top box off and just get into the bottom. Show you a quick look at the bottom box here and just kind of make a quick assessment, pull a few frames, and just like a few months ago, as soon as I find some eggs, I'll call it a day. All right, well, I just finished going through the bottom box. They seem kind of agitated, and I've said this before, that's usually a trait when a hive is queenless. So I went through the box twice. No brood, no eggs, no sign of a queen. Same in the top box. There is a chance I may have overlooked her, but I am leaning towards this hive has become queenless, which also means it's a good candidate to combine here in the near future. So TBD for now. I don't need to make a decision today, but sometime soon, maybe later this week, I'll end up combining number 2 with another colony that has a queen, is just as strong, because they do have a healthy amount of bees. They are light on the food, which was expected, but the main concern is not having a queen. They will not survive the winter at this point without a queen, so that's something I need to figure out. All right, down here at number 3, already smoked them. Got a few bees up top. Let's take a look down inside real quick, and then just like all the others, get down in them and figure out what they got going on. So they got bees kind of spread throughout all the frames. They're not pouring out the top, so we'll see how they're looking here in a second. Since I don't really plan on harvesting any goldenrod honey, at least for now I don't. This is only the 3rd hive I've been into. Let's see what it tastes like. That is pretty darn good. So here's an interesting difference. Look at the temperament of the bees in this hive in comparison to the last hive I just got done. So this is number 3. A lot more calm, gentle than the bees in number 2, which seem to be just kind of disturbed. And again, that's something that I noticed when a hive is queenless and the queen's pheromone completely has dissipated. The bees, for one reason or another, just seem to be a lot more agitated. So I'd be surprised if this hive is queenless just based off the temperament so far. I haven't seen any eggs or any brood, but it is the time of year where hives do become broodless or very, very close to it. So I'm just going to keep going through them, and hopefully they're queen right. They do have some nice food stores. I just tasted some of that goldenrod honey, which is actually pretty darn good. All right, absolutely no need to wonder if they're queen right or not, because there she is. Let me get her caged, get her safe, and then I'll look through the rest of the frames. All right, there we go. Number 3, looking good. And some pretty darn tasty goldenrod honey. All right, there she goes. All right, let's give number 4 some smoke and get into them. That's what I'm talking about. They got that sealed down, and a decent amount of bees up in the top box, as you can see right here. All right, let's get to it. See what they've been up to. Definitely important this time of year, or any time of year really, when you don't have queen excluders on, to check the underside of both lids really, because the queen can be anywhere. It's only happened once or twice that I can remember that I have found a queen hanging out on the bottom side of one of the lids. Alright, same thing as the other colonies. I'm just going to go frame by frame. And alright, I'm on the third frame, and if I can get the sun to hit this just right, ton of nectar. And this frame has some decent weight to it. Both sides. Bees are very calm too. Let's take a look at the next frame real quick. Yeah, they actually packed away the nectar early enough to cap some of it at one point. All right, so far so good. Just a quick look at the bottom box. So same thing, just gonna go frame by frame, try to determine their queen rate. Top box looks great, nice bees, very calm, very gentle, nice food stores, but you always gotta look just to make sure. I was just thinking this hive has a lot of bees, and there's the queen right there, like usual. I'm just gonna cage her. They are quick. Look at her, she's trying to get away. Yeah, I'm just gonna cage her for safety. Look through a few more frames. I'm really trying to make a determination if the colonies have really dialed back this time of year, perhaps due to not feeding them, which if you feed them 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1, more so 2-to-1 this time of year, I mean that's more for food stores. 1-to-1 or thinner actually is more of a stimulant for brood rearing, or for the queens to lay eggs. So given that I haven't fed them all season, I'm more curious if the queens have just really started, or really started to dial back with laying eggs and waiting for the winter solstice, which is usually about the 3rd week of December, around the 21st or 22nd. I haven't really looked at the calendar that closely this year yet, but it's typically around that time of year, because there's really not a lot of brood, if any, really, in any of the hives, which is fine because they have food stores. I did find some eggs in the previous hive after I found the queen, but then again, the winter bees, these bees here, the ones that hatched within the last few months or so, they typically live a lot longer. They live up to about 6 months from what I remember, versus the summer bees that work themselves to death in about 6 weeks. So just things to consider, really. I mean, me a few seasons ago, I would have been very concerned this time of year going through the hives and not finding any brood or anything, but not anymore. Figure no matter how much you try to intervene, you know, the bees know what's best for them, and they typically figure stuff out faster than we do. So let me get everything put back together and get the top box put back on, and I'll release her, and that's it for this one. Alright, let's get her released and then turn everything to normal. Alright, down here at number 5, who doesn't really have a whole lot of front entrance activity going on, but check this out. They definitely have some bees in the top box. And I just lifted the back of the box, and much to my surprise, it seems like it has some decent weight to it. So we shall see here shortly what exactly they have going on. If my memory serves me right, I believe one of these hives, whether it was 5 or 6, had some pretty nice food stores. Check this out, it's a ton of bees. There's a decent amount of bees on the bottom of the inner lid. Get them back to where they belong. it didn't take long to find something interesting. So this is the 4th frame. Check this out. Both sides slap full. So that's frame number 4. How about frame number 5? Same thing. Look at that. Beautiful. How about frame number 6? So that is at least, I'd say, 8 to 9 pounds of goldenrod honey here in number 5. Number 7, not fully capped. I kind of doubt the bees will get it fully capped before it really gets cold here and stays cold. But yeah, hive number 5, at least 9 pounds of goldenrod. All right, quick look like usual into the bottom box. So they're starting to build up some nice bird comb in between the boxes, which is pretty common this time of year. Nice healthy amount of bees, some really darker bees too. Some bees bringing in pollen, whether you can see that or not, but yeah, just gonna go through the box and hopefully everything looks okay. I don't expect to see too much on these outer frames. They look kind of bare, so most of the activity should be in the middle 6 here. All right, there she is. Should be right in the middle of the screen. Found her on hive. Found her on frame number 7. So no need to wonder if they were queen right. But since they only have one more frame of bees, I'm curious if they have any brood, because so far it looks like the hives are in a broodless state. And I feel comfortable saying that because this is hive number 5, and although they have food stores, not seeing any brood. But as y'all saw, all but one have been able to find the queen, so they are 100% queen right. And as I've gone through the colonies, now that I've discovered they're in a broodless phase, that makes me kind of wonder whether or not I overlooked the queen in hive number 2, which that can be something I go back and check on maybe tomorrow. And the reason I say tomorrow is because I can feel the temperature starting to drop, which that reminds me I should probably look at my phone and see what the accurate backyard temperature gauge says for our location here. And if it's starting to get cooler, which I'm sure it is, cooler being closer to 65, I might end up calling it a day and finishing the rest of the colonies tomorrow. But let's get number 5's queen released. She's in here somewhere in this mess of bees I scooped up. There she is, I see her. And nope, let's go down in the colony. Sometimes you have to guide them. And let's get the top cover on. All right, that's it for number 5, looking really good. All right, so far so good. The porch sensor is not connected right now, but that's the least of my concerns. So it's still 76 degrees, 76.6. So we are going to continue. Let's see, we got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So about 7 more hives to go. One being a 5-frame nuke, so that shouldn't take too long, but nonetheless, almost halfway done. Yeah, 6. Oh yeah, they got some decent bees and a lizard up in the top box. All right, so same thing, not to bore you all to death. I think you kind of see my flow, my routine here. So I'll go through the top box, share anything we're sharing. Same thing with the bottom box, and move on to the next one until I'm done. All right, well that didn't take too long. So frame number 2, they've consumed a lot of the food stores that they stored here at one point in time, but this frame still has some weight to it. And number 3 looks pretty promising too. Oh yeah, that is nice. That is a nice food frame right there. So I'm gonna say that's 1 full frame of food. Where there's one, there's usually two. Yeah. Let's see. I'd say two. How about three? That is a nice one. Three. Yeah. I'm also looking for the queen at the same time. What about four? We got four? Nope. So that's another three in this one. The bees definitely got busy with the goldenrod, the asters, and whatever else was in bloom for the last 2 months, so that is pretty cool. Alright, top box is looking good. At least 10, maybe 12 pounds of food. Let's get into the bottom box real quick. Quick first look, of course. Looking pretty good. A lot of activity. We'll see. Been pretty lucky on the last few to find the queen in the bottom box, so hopefully I can do the same with this one. All right, just finishing it up with number 5. I ended up going through the bottom box twice and I did not find the queen at all. I'd say I didn't find signs of the queen at all, but then again, like I've said a few times, it looks like most of the colonies are in a broodless state right now. They do have a healthy amount of bees. They have a nice amount of food stores in the top box. So I'm just going to put a brick on top of this vertically, which is my marker, just like hive number 2 down there if you can see it, as a reminder to check later this week, maybe as early as tomorrow, to see if they have a queen and I just overlooked her today. Down here at 7, and 7 has a migratory cover, so let's just jump straight into them and see how they're doing. Decent amount in the top box, nothing exactly to write home about, but I'll get into them and share anything worth sharing. In fact, looking at how thin this top box is, I wouldn't be surprised if I end up removing it just to consolidate the amount of space they have to keep warm in order to survive. Alright, not really too much to talk about. This is the best looking frame, and it's only just this half frame, and that is frame number 5 right in the middle. So things to consider, might reduce them like I said, but I really just need to get through the bottom box first and then I'll make a decision. Alright, just a quick look at the bottom box. Nice amount of bees, a lot of small bird comb in between the boxes. So let's get through this one and hopefully I can find the queen. Alright, frame number 2. No doubt they are queen right. She is right there. So she's moving kind of quick too, so let me get her caged. Just kind of out of the way. She's not going to cooperate. I already tell that. Alright, there we go. She's caged. Safely out of the way. I'm just going to go through a few frames and put everything back together. Alright, that's that. Let's get her released. And there she goes. Just like that. Let's get the top lid back on and on to the next one. Alright, down here at number 8. Been very curious about this one. This is the only other 5-frame nuke in the yard. So, like usual, not to bore you, I'm just gonna go frame by frame and see what we got going on. If my memory serves me right, I moved a few frames from another colony that I used to basically give this one a boost about 2 months ago. I kept their parent queen in here, so either way, again, that's been quite a few months. Let's see how they're doing this time. All right, well, this is the busiest frame in this colony, and I do not see a queen at all. So she was marked, I know that much. Last time I saw her, she was on the bottom board, but I don't feel like looking that hard this time around. So I'm gonna mark this colony with a brick as my indicator. to come back out as early as tomorrow, but sometime this week, and just look a little harder and make a decision whether to combine them with another colony. So that's it for this one. All right, let's see how number 9's doing. Number 9 actually has a decent amount of bees. Oh man, that is sealed. Decent amount of bees on the entrance. And let's get into them and have a look. They definitely had the lid sealed down pretty nicely. Nope. No queen on the top cover this time. Give you a quick first look in the top box. Not as many bees as the other colony, so kind of make a determination after I go through this whether to keep it on or not. Quick look at the last 2 frames. Very nice frames of drawn wax, which is awesome to have. It's even better if it's filled with food or nectar, which none of these are. So not one single one had any sort of decent food stores. So this is just wasted space. They're not using it. They didn't capitalize on the fall nectar flow for whatever reason. So with all that said, I'm going to get into the bottom box. Obviously first remove the top box, and I will probably leave, I'm going to leave this box off because they're not using it. I'll end up removing this box once I'm done with this hive today. Right, that's something I like to do too. I'll leave the box in front of the colony for about a day or two, and all the bees will find their way back into the bottom box here. Bottom box has a decent amount of bees and some nice comb built up, which they don't necessarily need now. So I'm going to go through this and show you anything interesting. If I can find the queen, that make me a happy camper today. So we shall see here in a few minutes. All right, hive number 9. Could not find the queen, so just like the other ones, I'm gonna mark it with a brick on top and get back into it soon, very soon. Hopefully I just overlooked her today, which is possible. So let me mark number 8. Let me find another brick for 9, and then we'll just keep on going until we're done. Number 10 it is. Man. Almost done. Whoa! Look at all these bees. That is what I like to see. Alright, let's pop the inner cover. Couldn't be so lucky to find the queen. Nope. Alright, so in comparison to the last 2 or 3 colonies, this top box has a whole lot more bees in between every single frame. Some bridge comb, so I have a feeling this one is going to look pretty nice. Hopefully they have some good food stores and I can leave it on so they can have some food to snack on throughout the rest of the season. All right, over here on frame number 6, and not capped, but if that comes up or not, they have some nice food stores in the frame of nectar. And they've had that on the previous 2 or 3 frames. So not as much as I'd like to see, but then again, what is, right? So all right, almost done with this one, and then onto the bottom box. All right, quick first look at the bottom box. That's what I like to see. That looks like a nice dense population of bees. So again, just gonna go frame by frame. As long as I find the queen, everything's good. If not, just give me something else to follow up with later this week. All right, there we go. There's the queen on frame number 6. Let's get her caged. Just like the other colonies. That's that. I'll check out the last frame or 2 that has some bees on it. And then, yeah, I'm going to consolidate them just down to a deep, remove the top box, and that'll be it for this time. I'm not too sure why I said I was going to consolidate them. They actually have some decent food stores in the top box. So let's get her released. Get the lid put back on. There she goes, just like that. All right. Yeah, this colony has a ton of bees, so try not to kill too many by putting the lid back on. All right, change up the angle a little bit. Down here at 11. Second to last. And if you can't tell, I'm a little excited about that just because I've been out here for a few hours. So this colony, I remember this one quite well because they've done extremely well throughout the season. And let's take a quick look at the top box. Nice amount of bees. I wouldn't be surprised to find some food frames. They got some bridge comb all over the place. So let me go through them and hopefully there's something interesting to share with y'all. All right, this is what I was hoping to see. So frame number 4, it's got some nice food stores on both sides. And judging by the other colonies, that kind of starts the trend of the next few frames. Yeah, so 4, 5, both sides. It looks like 6 as well. Definitely do a good job of sealing these frames down. Yeah. So 4, 5, and 6. That's kind of the trend. All right, just a quick look at the bottom box before I get into them. This hive has a nice concentration of bees. So again, as long as I can find the queen, everything's good, and that'll be it for probably the month of November. All right, there she is, frame number 8. So looking good. I'm not gonna cage her. I'm just gonna put everything back together and call it a day for this one. Oh man. All right, finally made it down to number 12. Let's get that monster cover off, get into them, and wrap things up for the day. So quick first look. I'm running out of battery here. Decent amount of bees right here. Let's get into them, see how their food stores are, and of course get into the bottom box. All right, not bad at all. Frame number 4. Decent amount of food between nectar, some capped honey. The next frame, yeah, about the same thing. A little less, but decent food frame for now. All right, quick first look into the bottom box, and it looks like they have about maybe 4 decent frames of bees right here. Let's get through them real quick, and how's that for being a happy camper? Very first frame. So let's put everything back and call it a day. Believe me, not every inspection goes that easy, but this one did, and I'm not complaining. All right, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. It is 3:15, so I've been out here for just over 3.5 hours. I have to get used to this time of year because the sun is already starting to dip below the tree line here. And honestly, it is a beautiful sight to see this many bees flying, mainly due to being disturbed from the hive inspections. But again, hey, thanks for watching Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please do so. It costs you absolutely nothing but a few seconds of your time by hitting that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Tune in next time to see how the hives are doing, but things are really winding down this time of year. Not too much more to come for the season, so we appreciate it. It's been a fantastic year, and hopefully y'all join us in 2024.